What's up, Womack Nostalgia? Dave here with a review of XG's second EP, second mini album, Awe. XG, of course, the relatively new, quote, global girl group as they brand themselves. XG is a bit unique in that regard, of course, managed by Avex, a Japanese company, but they operate out of South Korea and they make primarily English music, but they promote themselves around the K-pop, promotion system. They were at KCON last year, so I certainly consider them the way I consider most K-pop groups, but acknowledging that there is a little bit of a difference with them. Nonetheless, actually really kind of came out of nowhere last year, and I became a really big fan of theirs. I thought their song Puppet Show was absolutely fantastic, one of my top 10 K-pop songs of the year last year. XG have been successful quickly just because their talent is on full display with their music. They've really developed two lanes for themselves, one around really good hip hop, some of the best rapping you will find in K-pop. The flows, the bars are great, and also dancier, poppier sound. And I think both of those lanes for XG have been successful to this point. And seeing how that meshed together as this group continues to grow and make more music was my main interest in this next release, Awe. XG's second EP, Awe, very much continues their upward trajectory as one of the most exciting groups in and around the K-pop sphere. XG's rap is tremendous. Some of the best flow and technical ability you will find across the K-pop industry, but they also are equally adept at making fun, dancey bangers, and often they will bring in hip-hop into their more poppy songs. Due to the number of singles, Awe is a lot of new music, really only 3 of these songs we hadn't heard to this point, but I think XG is once again putting their best foot forward and showcasing why they've become so popular. Previously released singles, If You Know You Know and Something Ain't Right, are excellent dance tracks. But of course, check out the new song Howling. Hear the rap ability on full display. Of course, the previously released song Woke Up is probably their hardest rap to date. At this point, I'm ready for a full length from XG because I think the concept is really working and they're really executing on the talent they have thus far. So keep the momentum going. I want to hear more. I also should note that earlier this year they released a sponsored, collab song with the video game Valorant called Undefeated, which has kind of curiously become a big K-pop trend where almost every big K-pop girl group at this point has released a video game tie-in song, I think to New Jeans and Kiss of Life and Le Seraphim, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some more as well. It's just kind of funny how this has kind of happened out of nowhere. And of course, on Awe, we have the Woke Up remix, as I said. The original version of Woke Up, though, which features, mainly vocals from the XG members. This remix is primarily guest spots. The remix functions as actually they both really function as ciphers. They're just really pure rap displays, and it's pretty fun. As I mentioned, Awe is in a ton of new music because the first song Howl is a 80-second interlude tying into the first real song Howling, and of course they have Space Meeting skit on here. And then If You Know You Know, Something Ain't Right were singles, and Woke Up Remix was previously released, and of course is a remix to a previously released single. So in the reality, it's Howling, In the Rain, and Is This Love, which are the only new songs, which is fine. This is pretty typical. I think with Howling, which they've already performed live on Music Bank with noticeably, live vocals, we love to see it. Again, this is why I think of them as a K-pop group, because they're promoting on K-pop, award and performance shows. Howling, you have this smooth transition out of the interlude, and then the drum and cymbal almost gave me Cowboy Bebop vibes in the beginning. The guitar drops as the verses kick in, and the bars are definitely hard. I think the chorus, though, is just okay. I don't love the actual howl that you hear on the song. And the melody is definitely better when it's sung than anything before that. But still, I think it's a pretty solid song from there. It's not my favorite, but certainly worthy of a single and being the title track of a release. If You Know You Know, one of their most polished songs to date, super dancey. I love the hook. I love the kick drum. I think it's just a very catchy song. I think it's great. Along those lines, the other single, Something Ain't Right, with this looping dance beat, I love the vocals. It's kind of like a classic pop banger, super up tempo. I think the song just completely rules, and then it really gets to level up because in the second verse you have some rap. It's a great example of the pop and hip hop sides of XG coming together in a really synergistic way. It's really making the song better because they're together. In the Rain, this is interesting to me because on its surface the song is a bit more plain. The drum hits are nice, but it's simpler production for sure, and the vocals are even a bit more restrained. It's just kind of more pure and natural singing, and the bar for bar of it all is pretty fun, but it's not as an aggressive of a flow. And even though this is probably like the least interesting song on Awe, there's still enough like variety to the song that I think it stands up as like still pretty decent. Again, speaks to XG's relatively high floor as a group. Woke Up remix. I think I think it's a sitar. There's some kind of Eastern instrumentation that really stands out on the beat. And then yeah, it's just a hard cipher. I think at the 3 minute mark you get the Tokyo Drift chimes very noticeably. But yeah, I think I prefer the original version of the song just for the XG members being more involved. But yeah, it's a rap banger. Nothing else to say. And then Is This Love, the last song, solid, still upbeat, still pretty fun. And again, I just would love to hear more from this group. I think they're really crushing to this point. They just put out a lot of heat in the last year and a half or so, and it's seemingly working. They're developing Western fan base. They seem to be, as they're intending, this global group, this X-pop as they brand it. And one thing I can't really speak to is like, what is their popularity in Korea versus Japan? Like, what is the disparity of that? Because usually, music has to be marketed specifically to one of the markets or the other. It's hard to have music that works in both at the same time. You see that with like groups like Twice and ITZY and stuff making Japanese albums, right? It's very common to specifically market to Japan. So I'm curious, like, is XG successful in Japan, even though they don't really operate there? I don't know. I can't speak to it. But yeah, let me know. What did you think of XG's Awe? Are you in agreement with me that this group is on the up and want to hear more? Let me know. And for more music reviews, more K-pop reviews, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.